The cold female CEO actually changed her handle to "I love eating bananas" and maliciously tagged everyone in the company group chat. Isn't our CEO supposed to be obsessed with iced Americanos? Why is she suddenly craving bananas? Since when did this happen? Babe, I came by to visit you and brought this. Oh, bananas, sweet bananas. I am craving some bananas right now. And just like that, the entire corporation found out that the fierce CEO's husband carries the nickname Banana. If it weren't for the fact that you saved my grandmother, there is no way in hell I would have ever married you. I already made a wager with Grandma that for the next half year, I will put your character to the test. If you turn out to be genuinely decent, I will grant you a peaceful and stable life. But if you dare to deceive my grandmother, and all your kindness is nothing more than a facade, 6 months from now, we are getting a divorce immediately. Here is an extra set of keys. And WeChat is set. If there's nothing important, do not contact me. I am extremely busy. The instant regret of rushing into a hasty marriage is that I only realized once I stood downstairs at her building. I forgot to ask which floor her apartment is on. Just as I pulled out my phone to call Shunyu Chu, I suddenly realized that I didn't even have her phone number saved anywhere. Thank goodness we still had WeChat, so I immediately initiated a voice call with her. At this exact moment, Shunyu Chu was right in the middle of a meeting, with every phone in the boardroom forced on a silent mode. However, she quickly caught sight of my incoming voice call. Yet back when we first added each other, she never bothered to set a custom nickname for my account, leaving it as Brave Little Banana. Seeing an unrecognized contact calling her out of nowhere, she didn't even think twice before instantly declining the call. And right after that, she straight up deleted me, completely oblivious to this rapid chain of savage moves. I just stood there baffled as Shunyu Chu refused to answer, leaving me no choice but to switch over texting. Director Shun, I am currently standing inside Mingxian Gardens, but I have no idea which floor your place is on. Finishing the text message and hitting send, I suddenly realized that Shunyu Chu and I were somehow no longer friends on the app. I stared blankly at my phone screen in utter disbelief for a long while, repeatedly blinking to confirm we had indeed been unadded. After pondering for a moment, I switched to calling Grandma Shun instead. Grandma, your grandson-in-law has moved out of your sister's place, and right now I am standing at Mingxian Gardens, but I have no idea which floor Director Shun's apartment is on. Do you happen to know, Grandma? However, Grandma Shun had no clue either. Shunyu Chu, in order to test me, had bought a brand new house and car, plus the old lady only found out about it after the two of us officially registered our marriage, learning that Shunyu Chu had bought an apartment in Mingxian Gardens. Grandma Shun grew frantically anxious and abruptly hung up the phone, instantly turning around to call Shunyu Chu back. Right at that moment, after deleting me on WeChat, Shunyu Chu had placed her phone back onto the table and resumed her meeting. As a result, less than 3 minutes later, her phone screen lit up once again, seeing that it was a call from her grandmother. She had no choice but to answer. Grandma, I am in the middle of a meeting. Can whatever this is wait until I get home? Yu Chu, my dear. Which building is the new apartment you bought in Mingxian Gardens? Which floor is it on? Fan Yuan already moved over there, but the poor boy doesn't know which floor it is. Didn't you already add him on WeChat? Quickly now, hurry up and tell him. Hearing these words made Shunyu Chu suddenly snap to her senses, as she finally remembered that today was the day she got married. Grandma, just tell him yourself. It is Building B, Floor 8. I will tell him. Just go back to whatever you were busy with. As soon as the old matriarch hung up the phone, Shunyu Chu stared at her screen in silence for a moment, before ultimately sending a new friend request back to me, deciding not to hold her petty actions from a moment ago against her. I immediately accepted the request, and right after that, I saw her apology text pop up. Being in a fantastic mood and exceptionally magnanimous, I simply told her to go ahead and focus on her work. Yet she awkwardly fired back with a half-hearted, "Do you need any help with anything? I only brought a single suitcase, which I can easily carry upstairs all by myself. Besides, if I actually needed help, would you even come back to carry it for me?" Catching sight of the latest message, Shunyu Chu instantly replied with a hard no, claiming she was way too busy, as if she would ever have spare time to rush back and help me move. I shot her back a grinning, smiley face, and then stashed my phone away, refusing to disturb her work any further. Shun Yuchu didn't send any more messages either, since the two of us knew practically nothing about each other, leaving us with zero topics to converse about. All she hoped was that I could behave and stay in my lane, and not bother her over trivial matters. She certainly wasn't idle enough to waste time thinking about me. What are you all staring at? Get back to the meeting. For bedrooms, 2 living rooms, 1 kitchen, 2 bathrooms, and 2 balconies. I estimated this place had to be at least 200 square meters. After all, even though we registered our marriage, as long as the other party didn't proactively bring up any marital intimacy, I would absolutely never initiate it either. The kitchen was spotless and pristine, lacking even a single piece of cooking utensil, while both balconies were completely empty. It seemed Shun Yuchu rarely ever cooked or ate at home. But now that I was living here, I hopped online and ordered a whole bunch of kitchen supplies. After finishing placing orders for all the kitchenware, I checked the clock, planning to head back to the store to lend a hand. By the time I finally returned to Mingxian Gardens, it was already pitch black. Pushing the door open and stepping inside, the entire apartment was pitch black. I walked around the place for a quick tour first to confirm that Shun Yuchu hadn't returned yet. At this hour, I figured she probably crashed and slept over at the company. So I simply double-locked the door, pulled my pajamas out of the suitcase, took a scorching hot shower, and immediately collapsed on a bed, falling fast asleep. Meanwhile, over at the Grand Chungchung Hotel, Shun Yuchu, surrounded by an entourage of bodyguards, walked out of her family's enterprise. My lady, are we heading back to the estate or the mountaintop villa? The estate was the old ancestral home of the Shun family, while the mountaintop villa was a massive mansion, registered entirely under Shun Yuchu's own name. She lived completely alone in that villa every single day, only occasionally returning to the old Shun family estate. Yet surprisingly, Shun Yuchu chose to head over to Mingxian Gardens instead, before giving further instructions to her bodyguards. Have a new Dongfeng commercial van I just bought driven over there for me, will you? This vehicle was meant to serve as a disguise to conceal her identity. Oh, that is right. What was my husband's name again? My lady. His surname is Fong, and his given name is Yuan. He is 25 years old this year. My lady, you must remember this carefully. 10 minutes later, the luxury convoy pulled up to the gates of Mingxian Gardens, allowing Shun Yuchu to personally drive that Dongfeng commercial van into the residential complex. While she couldn't even remember my name, yet Shun Yuchu still clearly remembered the house she bought with her own money. Arriving right in front of her front door, she pulled out her keys and inserted one into the lock, only to suddenly realize that no matter how much she turned the key, the door stubbornly refused to budge. Shun Yuchu's expression instantly plummeted. Originally, towards someone like me who had saved her grandmother's life, she had always maintained a sense of gratitude. But when her grandmother kept endlessly praising how good I was, forcing her into marrying me, she completely lost all favorable feelings toward me. Even though she eventually promised her grandmother she would marry me, she had also struck a prior deal with the old lady, stipulating that, after getting married, she would conceal her identity to put my character to the test. If I failed to pass the trial, Shun Yuchu planned to toss me out on the street immediately. Right now, staring daggers at the unyielding door, fury flared up inside her like raging flames. This is my own house. I'll let you stay in here. And yet you dare to deadbolt the door and lock me outside. Shun Yuchu raised her leg and kicked the door directly, while at the same time, she pulled out her phone to call me, learning from her previous mistake, where she had changed my WeChat contact name to my real full name, and specifically appended the 2 words hubby to it. Otherwise, she wouldn't remember who I was in the heat of the moment, and might accidentally delete me again. Just as Shun Yuchu was kicking the door, I was startled awake. Who is it? Director Shun, why is it you? By the time I made it back here, it was already pitch black. Seeing that you weren't home, I assumed you wouldn't be returning tonight, so I bolted the door from the inside. Director Shun, I truly apologize. I should have called to ask whether you were coming back. I already told you that you don't need to worry about me, but this is my house, and locking me outside like that really pissed me off. My apologies, I'm so sorry. Next time I'll call ahead to ask if you're coming back or not. If you aren't coming back, then I will lock the door from the inside. If I go on a business trip, I will let you know in advance. And if I say nothing, it means I will be coming home every single day. So there's no need for you to make phone calls. My work is extremely busy, and I don't have time to entertain your pointless phone calls. Well, whatever she says is right anyway. This house belongs to her, and she is the boss. Director Shun, would you like to grab some late-night snacks? I never eat late-night snacks. It will make me gain weight. Judging by the current state of things, her impression of me had improved just a little bit, all because I didn't act shamelessly and demand to sleep in the same bedroom as her. Yesterday morning, just like any other day, I woke up bright and early at 6 in the morning to change my clothes. After brushing my teeth and washing my face, I stepped out of my room, casting a quick glance at Shun Yochu's bedroom door, which remained tightly shut. After that, I wandered into the kitchen, taking in its sheer emptiness, before deciding to head outside to buy 2 portions of breakfast to bring back home, not having a clue what kind of food Shin Yuchu liked, and hesitating to wake her up just to ask. I ended up just picking up a random variety of dishes. Shin Yuchu might have gone to sleep late, but she didn't wake up late at all, for right after I stepped out the door to grab breakfast, she woke up. Still not used to having a stranger in the house, she momentarily forgot about my existence entirely, walking out casually in her sleepwear. She had intended to pour herself a glass of water, when right at that exact moment, I happened to unlock the door and walk in. The newlywed couple stared blankly at each other, eyes locked, and the very next second, Shun Yuchu threw her hands over her chest, whirled around, and sprinted straight back into her room. Witnessing this scene, I was stunned for a split second, before my face instantly flushed bright red. A little while later, when Shun Yuchu finally reappeared before my eyes, she had already changed into neat and proper attire. Director Shun, I bought some breakfast back. Come grab a bite. Don't you know how to cook for yourself? I do, and my cooking is actually exceptionally delicious to boot. But breakfast food bought outside, especially those sketchy roadside food stalls, isn't exactly sanitary. Cut back on eating those from now on. Since you already know how to cook, just make your meals at home. It is much more hygienic and safe. Have you even taken a peek at your own kitchen lately? It is cleaner than your own face, devoid of a single thing. Even if I were a 5-star hotel chef, without any kitchen utensils or ingredients, I wouldn't be able to whip up a grand imperial feast out of thin air. Are you going to eat or not? I already bought it. If I don't eat it, it will just go to waste. Eating it once or twice won't kill anyone anyway. She was just trying to find an excuse to back down gracefully. Besides, seeing how things were when I moved in yesterday, I already went online and ordered a bunch of stuff. Can I please just eat and live according to my own plan? Look, we have already registered our marriage. We are officially husband and wife. And this is your home too. So arrange things however you like. As long as you don't touch my bedroom. If you want to buy things, you're going to need money. Take this bank card for your expenses. Every month after getting paid, I will transfer funds into it. But from now on, you have to keep a record of everything you buy. I don't care how much money you spend. I want to know what those funds are being spent on. Director Shun, you bought this house, and me staying here already saves me rent money. So, the expenses of this little household can't possibly be dumped entirely on your shoulders. As for the money needed to purchase household items, let me handle it. Unless the furniture exceeds 2,000 yuan, I won't need to discuss it with you. You can just chip in a little bit if you want. I know you run your own store and act as your own boss. But since you said this is our shared home, you have your share and I have mine. How could I possibly let you alone? Shoulder all the expenses of this house. Just take it, and if you don't like keeping logs, you don't have to. What about that car I suggested you buy? Have you thought it over? Do you need me to help you make a down payment on one? With your level of income? Maintaining a car won't be a problem at all. Let's talk about it later. We just recently got married, and both sides still don't understand each other well enough. Spending so much of your money to buy a car like that makes me feel uneasy all over. Fan Yuan, hold on a second. You really should keep this bank card. Just now. My tone when speaking to you wasn't very pleasant. I am sorry. I sincerely apologize. Fan Yuan, are you free tonight? There's a banquet happening this evening, an elite upper-class party, and there is an extra slot available. Do you want to tag along and broaden your horizons? We can mingle and learn a thing or two. I don't really want to go anywhere. Even though my monthly income isn't low, it is still light years away from that kind of high society circle. To be honest, I didn't even want to go myself. It's just that my mom asked my aunt to pull strings and score me an invitation card. Each card allows you to bring a +1. So you were the absolute first person I thought of. Hearing Xia Chong say that, I immediately knew his aunt was nagging him to get married again. Fan Yuan, let's just go tonight to breeze through it. Consider it a chance to expand our horizons. My aunt told me that. The banquet tonight will be attended by tons of wealthy young heiresses. We might not land a rich wife, but going just to feast our eyes and check things out is still great. And let me tell you, there are going to be so many delicious gourmet dishes at the party. I'm a total foodie, and Xia Chong is too. So under his relentless combination of sweet-talking and nagging, after he bugged me persistently for a full hour, I finally gave in and accepted his request. Little Xia, take out your invitation card. Entering this area requires checking the invitation and registering. Once we go inside later, you two just watch more and speak less. And when the right moment comes, I will introduce some people for you boys to get acquainted with. Annie, the threshold of these people's place is 10,000 times higher than mine. I wouldn't dare harbor such wild, pipe dream fantasies. I'm only here strictly to eat and drink. Hey, we don't even know any of those high society ladies or young misses. So even if we try to talk to them, they wouldn't give us the time of day. Let's just eat. We came here simply to widen our horizons and see what an upper-class elite banquet actually looks like. If your aunt knew you came here solely for the sake of food, she'd probably die of pure fury. Thanks to your blessings, I finally get to taste these dishes. Why did everyone suddenly go completely silent? They are all staring toward the entrance, but I have no clue who arrived. No need to look with so many people in the way. We wouldn't see anything even if we tried. As far as I am concerned, tonight, executing our eating mission is the absolute top priority. My lady, I spotted Director Feng over there. What on earth is he doing here? I'm not sure, my lady. Keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't spot you. And find out who he came here with, as well as what kind of people he interacts with. Snap secret photos of everything for me. Fan Yuan. Aren't you going to drink? I rarely ever drink alcohol. Well then, have a glass of milk or fruit juice instead. Let me go grab a cup for you. Bing bing, there's no need for that. I'm so full I could pass out, I can't force down another drop. Big Brother Chong. You and Brother Fan Yuan have been sitting here the entire evening. Is that right? Well, my mom's intention was to introduce you to some pretty decent girls. But every time I turn around to look for you, you are nowhere to be found. My mom is currently busy chatting with the other matrons and can't easily step away, so she asked me to come find you instead. Bing bing. Brother Fan Yuan and I only came here to sample the food. As for anything else, I honestly have zero interest. Besides, both of us are already stuffed and well-fed, and it isn't very early anymore either. Bing bing, Brother Fan Yuan and I will head home first. Make sure to pass along a word to my aunt for us. Big Brother Chong, are you two heading back right now? The event is only halfway through. It's still quite early. Don't you and Brother Fan Yuan have to open up your store for business tomorrow? Staying out too late isn't, well. Actually, opening a bit late at 10 a.m. is totally fine too. Big Brother Chong, didn't you two drive here today? Brother Fan Yuan and I could just flag down a taxi. Bing bing. Go on back inside and tell my aunt for us. The two of us. We'll head out first. Hope you have a blast. Bing bing. Hurry back inside the hotel. We're taking off now. Miss bye. I just stepped outside to help my brother flag down a ride, and only just made it back inside. This guy acts like he hasn't tasted good food in 800 years, only knowing how to stuff his face nonstop. Still, me hiding in the corner, quietly chowing down on food, was definitely much better in her eyes than walking around casting lines everywhere. Besides, I was dressed way too casually anyway, not even wearing a decent suit. And frankly, that made total sense. If I had dared to dress up too flashily, she undoubtedly would have deadbolted the front door and refused to let me back in. Aside from Bai Ningbing, I didn't strike up a conversation with a single other soul. Bai Ningbing was my sworn brother's cousin, so she must have already guessed that we were already acquainted beforehand. No wonder, even though those were candid shots. The camera angles were remarkably tricky, conveniently capturing the exact moment Bai Ningbing was stealing a glance at me. Shin Yuchu, with just one look, realized that Bai Ningbing had feelings for me, which also meant she suddenly found herself with a love rival. Director Shun, don't you have overtime tonight? Yeah, I bought some stinky tofu. Do you want to have some? At the banquet earlier, you just buried your face in food. You ate so much and you're still not full? You really are a total glutton. Stinky tofu smells pungent to the nose, but the more you chew, the more heavenly it tastes. Do you want to taste a bite? I'm not eating that. Eat it yourself. Besides, could you please take that outside to the balcony? The smell is way too overpowering. People with high incomes must lead lives that are exceptionally refined, right? Why did your store close so early tonight? Tonight I wasn't at the store. My friend had to attend a banquet and asked me to tag along with him. All right, let me ask you something. Tonight's banquet was held at the Grand Chungcheong Hotel. I heard the Grand Chungcheong Hotel belongs to the richest family in the region, and rumor has it that the eldest young miss of that wealthiest family was also there tonight. Word is she shares the surname Shun as well. Aren't you related to that wealthiest family in any way? 500 years ago, we might have been in the same family. I figured you had zero connection to the richest family. Still, you seem awfully cheerful. Why is that? Do you not want me to have ties to their family? It's nighttime now. Stop daydreaming in broad daylight. If you actually had any ties to the Shun family, the richest in Guangxing, would you ever condescend to marry a complete stranger like me? I still feel like I punched way above my weight class. Living together must be super uncomfortable for you. Director Shun, tell me, a spinster like her, getting up to that age and still not married, the world of the wealthy, is just something us plebeians can never comprehend. How do you know she is an old spinster? She is the head of the Shun family. This isn't some fictional novel where a young heir can just take over the family estate and successfully manage it like those rich second-generation kids. She has to be at least 35 or older. So to someone young like me, what else could she be if not an old spinster? You seem quite fascinated by her, am I right? Not at all. I just heard some rumors about the big CEO and decided to make a few guesses. I was actually planning to share a bit more gossip about Xia Chong getting nagged to get married too. It's getting late. Let's head to bed. I'm going to take a shower. I haven't even finished telling the story yet. Aren't women supposed to love gossiping? Time flew by in the blink of an eye, and it was already Saturday. Yesterday evening, Grandma called me up to say that, since Shun Yuchu and I had already registered our marriage, besides paying respects to the elders, we also needed to let the younger generation get together and meet each other, so that if they passed each other on the street, they wouldn't even recognize one another, which was why I decisively arranged for both families to meet up today, conveniently planning to go grocery shopping with Shun Yuchu this morning. Therefore, at 6 in the morning, Shun Yuchu was jolted awake by my phone call. Shun Yuchu suffered from a severe case of morning crankiness, and she had to hold back so hard she practically turned into a ninja turtle, just to keep herself from screaming curses at me. In the end, she rubbed her temples and told me to give her 10 minutes. Well, take your time. I've already stir-fried some noodles, so come out and eat whenever you're ready. After we eat, we'll head out to hit the local market. I take this whole meeting the parents thing very seriously, and see my attitude. Shun Yuchu's morning fury instantly vanished into thin air. Fan Yuan, are you two home? We've already arrived downstairs. Grandma, we just got back from the grocery market. Please wait for us downstairs for just a moment. You and Yuchu went grocery shopping? My cold and arrogant eldest granddaughter actually condescended to go shopping at the wet market with him? Well, since the girl wanted to fake poverty, that's fine too. Just let her experience what ordinary people's lives are truly like. Yuchu is usually swamped with work and has never been to a market in all her years. So, she really should be taken out to see how the other half lives. Fan Yuan, whether there's anything to do or not, just feel free to boss him around as much as you want. Let's go. Grandma and the others are already downstairs, waiting for us. In front of my grandma and my family members, don't call me Director Shin anymore. Just call me Shun Yuchu. Ha ha. Keep your voice down. Don't let my big sis hear you, ha. Grandma. I can't hold it in. Let me laugh a little more. Brother. In-law is so pathetic, having your sister hold a chicken in her left hand and a duck in her right hand, while carrying a chubby baby doll on her back. What did we instruct you before coming here? You all better remember it word for word from me. If anyone slips up, I'll hunt you down to settle accounts. Don't bother begging Grandma to save you. Grandma, everyone please make yourselves comfortable. Have some fruit and snacks first. I will go brew some tea for everyone. Sis, everyone please make yourselves at home. Yuchu and I will head into the kitchen to prepare. My waist feels so sore I can barely stand up straight anymore. How much dish soap did you even pour into this sink? I accidentally dumped in like half a bottle. Director Shun, you'd better just let me handle it. Next time we get together, let's just go eat at a hotel to save ourselves the trouble. I don't have any objections to that. It's just that today our two families were meeting face to face, and I wanted to make a good impression, which is why I cooked at home. What did Grandma say to you just now? Grandma asked if the two of us have been sleeping in separate beds, saying that since we've already officially registered our marriage, she told me to be a bit bolder, to take the initiative and pin you down on the bed. Grandma even said she hopes to hold a baby by next year, and she specifically emphasized that if I manage to get you pregnant with a set of twins, the old lady will reward me with her entire life savings. Right on the spot. My grandma's life savings amount to several billion. Yuan, you know. No wonder the old lady treats you so well, constantly nagging and forcing me to marry you. Director Shun, did I say something wrong? She is so hard to figure out. She clearly wanted to ask, and once I gave her an answer, she immediately cops an attitude with me. We have no feelings for each other and are just husband and wife in name only. Yet I'm not even allowed to eye her body. And if we can't spark any romance within half a year, we'll get a divorce. She acts like she's taking this super seriously. As compensation, she agreed to transfer the ownership of the apartment we're currently living in directly over to my name. Finally, she specifically emphasized that I'm not allowed to set my sights on the old lady's private estate. Even though we are husband and wife, we lack any emotional foundation, so I think we should draft a formal contract. Rest assured, aside from the aforementioned terms, everything else in this contract remains unchanged. However, Director Shun isn't a crisp 100 yuan bill. She's not so universally adored that everyone she meets will fall for her. Rest assured, I won't ever fall in love with you either. I have no objections regarding this contract. You've been exhausted all day today, so we'll get some rest early. Director Shun, you should do the same, though I'm in no rush. I'm just busy tidying up a bit. Could it be that he truly has no ulterior motives at all? Was I just overthinking everything this whole time? If not, how could he act so utterly decisive like that? Director Shun, are you heading out? I have some business to attend to. You don't need to wait up for me. Just lock the door behind me, will be fine. Rest assured, I never even thought about waiting up for Director Shun either. Could it be because it's the first time anyone has ever looked down on her like this? He didn't even hesitate to think about it for a single second, even though the contract conditions were written so harshly. He didn't even bother to review them, for even a tiny bit. He fundamentally doesn't care about me at all. Wait, no, what on earth am I even complaining about? Hello there. I'm a designated driver. Your young miss drank way too much, so I brought her back up here. Why did you drink so much alcohol? You reek entirely of booze. It's precisely because of you that I started drinking in the first place. Your contract explicitly states certain boundaries, so I won't be stepping any further inside. Don't rush to take a bath right now. Wait until tomorrow morning to shower. Right now, you're totally wasted like this. I'm afraid you might accidentally drown yourself in the bathtub. I actually ended up getting that plastered last night. From now on, I must never let myself get shit-faced drunk again. Fortunately, we signed that contract, and he didn't take advantage of me while I was vulnerable, so I guess he's still a man of his word. As for whether this contract was right or wrong, let's leave it at that for now. I'm so starved. You probably already whipped up a piping hot family meal by now, right? The shop is super dead over the weekend, so coming here is meant to find a little peace and quiet, to focus on making crafts for my online store. Brother Fan Yuan, why are you here too? Trying to earn some extra side cash? Why the hell did you run off all the way here? Don't even get me started. My aging mother was nagging me to get married so bad I couldn't take it anymore. So I had to escape here just to find some peace and quiet. I was just about to feel sorry for the guy, only to find out his mom forced him to go to a cafe tonight for a blind date. Going out for coffee late at night means staying wide awake till dawn. Come tag along with me tonight, bro. Get lost and stop being an eyesore. I'm not out of my mind. Why the hell would I go on a blind date for you and gossip, where she ends up setting her sights on me instead? No way, bro. My good man. What are you freaking out about? With a dashing face like mine. Grandma, why did you come all the way here? Grandma just wanted to chat with you. So I came, visiting the little cozy nest of you two. Yuchu told me you weren't at home, and I figured you must be at the bookstore, so I came straight over. That's right, didn't you say before that you never open the shop on weekends? Why are you here, Grandma? My online store hasn't dropped any new items in a while, and my inventory is almost completely sold out, so I had to come catch up on some work. Thanks, little Xia. Are you hanging out here today, too? Oh man, isn't it all because my mom has been hounding me to get married? Why else would I flee all the way to the shop just to find some peace? She keeps constantly setting me up on blind dates, making me feel like some cheap commodity up for auction. And get this, tonight she's making me go to a cafe for yet another blind date. So I was just begging Fanyuan to tag along with me. I completely understand your mother's plight, since I'm currently getting a massive headache myself over the marriage status of my other grandkids. Trying to pressure them is like pushing a boulder uphill. I tell them to go on blind dates, and not a single one of them agrees. Fanyuan, why don't you just go tag along with the boy tonight? Don't people on blind dates normally go alone? What is the point of tagging along? To act as a total third-wheel buzzkill? You can go help the boy give some advice. After all, you're already an experienced married man now. Grandma, what on earth is this? Is this a love letter written for me? Oomph. This is a list of Yochu's daily habits and personal preferences. Take a good look through it. It'll help you foster some romance and deepen your bond with her. To myself, I was thinking, Shin Yuchu already forced me to sign a contract, and we're getting a divorce in half a year anyway. I'd be a fool to waste any time trying to cultivate feelings. While I harbor zero defenses against Shin Yuchu is definitely keeping her guard up against me 24/7. As for Yuchu, she just suffers from a slightly severe case of morning crankiness, and is way too much of a neat freak. But in all other aspects, she's actually great. Her morning crankiness is so brutal that unless she wakes up naturally on her own, if anyone dares to call or knock to wake her up, that poor soul is guaranteed to have the worst luck ever. Anyway, I sure as hell wouldn't dare test my luck like that. I suddenly reflected on myself, and how I've repeatedly called Shin Yuchu up at the crack of dawn, dragging her straight out of bed. Yet she never got mad at me once. Wait, did the two of us last night? Grandma, you really have no idea. In society today, if I dared to pull any reckless stunts, by tomorrow morning, I wouldn't even be alive to see the sun rise. What's so terrifying that you wouldn't dare? The two of you are husband and wife, a legally wedded couple, who obtained your marriage certificate fair and square. If Yuchu won't take the initiative, then you should take charge. Grandma's dying to hold a great-grandchild. Grandma, it's not that I'm afraid of making you angry, but facing that freezing, icy expression of your granddaughter, I honestly can't even muster the guts. Shin Yuchu is just like her grandfather, born with that naturally stern and cold demeanor. Oh man, trying to win her over is like trying to chew on a frozen bone. Grandma, please don't stress yourself out over my and Yochu's business anymore. Just let nature take its course. Besides, I'm just hitching a ride on her coattails, to get by day anyway. Grandma, can you help me tidy up a little bit here? Sure, go ahead and focus on your work, dear. Where the hell did you dig up this antique artifact? This thing is seriously hard to find nowadays. Uncle Wang usually uses it to haul fertilizer and flower pots, so I just borrowed it from him for a quick second. That way, brother-in-law won't get suspicious at all. Yuchu, Grandma's craving something sweet right now. Why don't you run over to Yui Cafe and pick up some pastries for me? Their desserts are absolute top-tier quality. Grandma only loves eating treats from her shop. There's so many people in the family right now. You could just order any of them to go buy it for you. Why do you have to make me make a special trip? What's this? Can't Grandma boss you around anymore? Let me tell you something straight up. Later on, if I don't get to eat those pastries from Yui Cafe, starting tomorrow, I'm heading over to Shun Corporation to work as a janitor, collecting trash and picking up scrap metal. Ever since Grandpa passed away, Grandma has been like an untamed wild horse let loose, frequently dressing casually and wandering around outside. And lo and behold, from all that wandering around, she somehow managed to pick up a grandson-in-law out of nowhere. All right, I promise to go buy them for you right now. Looks like they're trying to trap Big Sis. As for me, I'll just play the role of a deaf mute the entire time. Not looking, not listening, and not saying a single word. Sitting quietly at the adjacent table, snacking on desserts. A betrothal gift of 1 million yuan, plus an extra car and a house thrown in. And after getting married, all salaries must be handed over completely, while temporarily, forgetting about having any kids, plus purchasing an additional house for the bride's parents as well. Mom, if you ever force me to go on a blind date again in this lifetime, dealing with these ridiculous gold-digging women, I'd rather castrate myself and be an eunuch for the rest of my life. Besides, even if you want me to get married so badly, you could at least find someone normal. Xia Chong left his wallet sitting on the table. After pondering for a moment, I decided to head over there to grab the wallet and, conveniently, hint for this woman to get lost immediately. She probably figures that since she made him sign that contract last night, he realizes he can't skim any benefits or profits from my end, so he's in a rush to go hunt down some wealthy sugar mommy instead. Then she's just sitting back, waiting for me to take the initiative and propose a divorce. Huh, what are you doing? Why aren't you leaving anymore? You aren't actually crushing on this chick, are you? My wife. My friend came here for a blind date, and I just tag along. I'll head back home a bit early after seeing him off. My, oh my, why are you here? Grandma told me to come here and buy some pastries, deliberately, using the excuse that she loves the desserts sold at this shop. Does Grandma honestly think that seeing him drinking coffee with another woman will make me jealous? Well then, I'll be heading out first. Make sure you bring the pastries to Grandma before you go back home. I'll leave the front door unlocked for you. Grandma, you made your point loud and clear. Ever since getting married, you promised you wouldn't meddle in my personal life. And the same goes for Fang Yuan. Me? I'm not meddling in anything at all. Grandma, you deliberately made me go to Yui Cafe to buy pastries precisely because you wanted me to witness Fang Yuan drinking coffee with another woman with my own 2 eyes. So what if you did, Grandma? I've never known what jealousy even tastes like, and I certainly won't start feeling jealous now. It's already getting this late. Aren't you going to stay over at the main estate for the night? It looks like she's still waiting up to unlock the door for me. I have no clue what Xin Yu Chu and the old lady talked about behind closed doors, but connecting it with how the old lady urged me to tag along right in front of Xia Chong, it suddenly dawned on me why Xin Yu Chu had unexpectedly shown up right at that exact spot. Still, what on earth was the old lady's real motive? Was she trying to make Xin Yu Chu misunderstand me? Does the old lady actually want us to live in peace and harmony? Or is she just waiting for us to part ways after half a year? Big sis, you're back home already? Did all this stress take a toll on your health? I already knew ages ago that Grandma wanted to marry you off. Sis, did Grandma totally trap you? All I know is that Grandma called me up and ordered me to go to Yui Cafe to buy pastries. Since Grandma loving the pastries sold at that place isn't even anything new or out of the ordinary. Brother-in-law. As it turns out, I happened to be at Yui Cafe for a blind date too. Huh? All right, whatever. So, sis, did you coincidentally witness the whole scene? By the time I arrived, it was pure coincidence. His buddy had stepped away to use the restroom, leaving only him and his blind date sitting together at the table. This coincidence is way too absurd. Even if Grandma sent you over there, it shouldn't be such a massive coincidence that you walked right into that site. Yui Cafe was actually just bought out by Grandma recently, so right now, Grandma is the true owner of that establishment. Sis, are you implying that the staff, they were keeping a close eye on brother-in-law the entire time? Right at the exact moment brother-in-law's buddy went to the restroom, you happened to walk right into that cafe, which naturally led you to misunderstand that brother-in-law was hunting for a rebound. Sis, and yet, you've already registered your marriage with brother-in-law anyway. Since you're already husband and wife, it's completely natural for Grandma to feel anxious. She just wanted to provoke you so you'd feel a little jealous. Grandma loves brother-in-law so much, sis. I bet sooner or later your heart is going to flutter for him. Brother-in-law, aside from our family's background, in every other aspect, he is exceptionally talented, especially those handmade copper wire crafts of his. That prosperity charm he gifted me. Tomorrow I'm taking it straight to the office and placing it right on my desk to rake in some fortune. Oof. I've lived for this many years, and I still don't even know what jealousy tastes like. nor will I ever experience it in this lifetime. Aren't you asleep yet? I was just getting ready for bed. Who would have thought you'd suddenly call me out of nowhere? I was sitting out on the balcony and unintentionally dozed off without realizing it. The sound of people talking is what woke me up. It's freezing out on the balcony at night. You should be careful not to catch a cold. Thanks for the concern. Well then, Director Shun, I'm gonna head to bed first. Deep down, I couldn't be certain whether he had overheard the conversation between me and the little girl, and just how much of it he actually caught. Right inside my own territory, some guy suddenly pops up claiming to be my actual husband, making it feel like my personal life has completely lost its privacy. Whenever I eat noodles, I always love adding a splash of vinegar. That tangy sourness makes it taste so good. Director Shun, wasn't it just last night that you claimed you didn't know what the taste of vinegar was like? Why don't you taste test it now? I'll add a little extra for you. How is the flavor? Way too sour, huh? Well, Director Shun has tasted it now. So in the future, don't go around telling people that you've lived this long without knowing what the taste of vinegar is. People might actually start doubting your intelligence, thinking you're even less sharp than a 3-year-old child. Fan Yuan, is that really you? Just now I saw your silhouette and thought it looked so familiar. I almost thought I was seeing things. My e-bike broke down, so I was just getting ready to push it along. Fan Yuan, I don't know how to fix vehicles, nor do I have any clue what's wrong with your bike. So why don't I make a phone call to help you out? We can tow it to a shop to get it checked out properly. Just leave the bike to me and let me handle it. I guarantee I'll return a bike to you by tomorrow that can ride completely normally, since she's my best friend's cousin and we've known each other for years. Of course, I completely trust Bing Bing. Hey, eldest young miss. That person over there looks super familiar. That man right there totally looks like Brother Fong. Judging by his build, it definitely is him. But who on earth is that woman standing right next to him? Drive a bit slower when we pass by them in a second, so we can confirm if it really is him. It really is Fan Yuan. And that woman is Bing Bing. Why on earth are the two of them hanging out together? Or is it just a coincidence? Those luxury cars that just drove past us. One of them actually belongs to eldest young Miss Shun. That's her exclusive specialized vehicle that she always rides in. The eldest young miss of the region's wealthiest Shun family, and also the reigning CEO of the Shun Corporation. She even made an appearance during the banquet last time. It's just a shame I have zero interest in gossip topics like that. Fan Yuan, it's way too late now. The repair shops are probably all closed. Uncle Fong will tow your bike away to get it fixed tomorrow. And once it's repaired, I'll bring it straight over to your shop, okay? No need to bother tonight, but thanks for the help. It's no big deal at all. You've already thanked me like 1,000,000 times. If you genuinely want to thank me, treat me to a meal sometime when you're free. Let's go. I'll drag Xia Chang along to eat with us too next time. Can't it just be the two of us instead? Fine, whatever. Are you scared your big brother will nag you or something? Why is the door deadbolt shut? She probably locked it out of habit. Calling her now is guaranteed to get me yelled at. Still, it's past midnight, so she definitely hasn't fallen asleep yet. So you finally decided to drag yourself home. Huh? Walking side by side with her on the street like that. You two looked like quite the matching couple. Why on earth did I deadbolt the front door anyway? I honestly don't even know what to say. My chest just feels inexplicably irritated. Director Shun, so sorry to bother you so late. You locked the door tight, so I couldn't get inside. Could you please come open the door for me? I honestly thought you'd be spending the night at some high-end luxury hotel tonight. If Director Shun want me to stay at a luxury hotel, I gladly would. After all, I always carry around the living allowance card you handed over to me. I'll go stay at the Grand Chungcheong Hotel and max out that living allowance card right away. Just you wait. If Director Shun want me to stay at a luxury hotel, I gladly would. After all, I always carry around the living allowance card you handed over to me. And I'll go stay at the Grand Chungcheong Hotel, along with that living allowance card. Just you wait. Director Shun. Tonight your tone has been so sarcastic and passive-aggressive, carrying a weapon and swinging a stick like that. I want to know where on earth I offended you. If you have a problem, just spit it out straight. Don't harbor grudges and let them drag on past the night. Glaring at me with an attitude every single day is going way too far. If this really doesn't work out, I can just pack up and move out. This apartment belongs to Director Shun, after all. It's your house, so you call the shots. How did you even get home tonight? Didn't someone bring you back, Fan Yuan? We already signed our formal agreement. In just another half year, we can finally get a divorce. Can't you just wait until we're divorced before you go hunting for a rebound? Did you really have to go looking for someone else beforehand? Right now, we are still legally husband and wife. So you seeking out someone else means you're cheating on me, even though I don't like you and could never possibly love you. Still, no normal person enjoys getting cheated on. That phrase, seeking a rebound, sounds utterly repulsive coming from you. Shin Yu Chu, is your brain full of water or something? If your mind isn't clear, please do us a favor and check into a hospital. Drawing wild conclusions just based on that stubborn head of yours. Is Director Shin always this tyrannical, arbitrary, and self-righteous in everything she does? What are you glaring for? Do you want to see whose eyes are bigger? My e-bike broke down halfway through the ride for some unknown reason. It completely stopped running, which is how I happened to run into Bing Bing. She's my best friend Xia Chong's actual cousin, and I've known her way longer than I've known you. I practically watched her grow up, given such a deep bond between us. When she saw me stranded on the street, she naturally stopped to ask if I needed help, helped me call someone to tow my bike away for repairs, and then gave me a ride back home. Why is it that coming out of your mouth? The two of us sound like a couple of adulterers, sneaking around in the dark shadows. They always say that people with dark and twisted minds tend to view everyone else through the exact same murky lens. Could it be that Director Shun has been running wild with a blossoming love life outside, turning the top of my head into a lush green grassland? Which is why you're looking at me with such a shady gaze. Director Shun, back when we first registered our marriage, if you weren't willing, you could have just told me straight up. I never forced you into anything. Was it really necessary to wait until after we got our marriage certificate to act like I somehow scored a massive bargain off of you? No, that agreement was written by you, and I haven't uttered a single complaint. You told me to sign, and I signed. And you being willing to split your house and car with me after the divorce was entirely your own doing as well. If you're already convinced that I'm obsessed with your money, then if I don't accept your house and car in the end, I'd actually feel bad for letting you down. And besides, who the hell do you think you are anyway? Do you seriously think you're some hot shot that I'd lose sleep over? Why are you acting like I'm some gold-digging parasite, and you're some overbearing CEO in a drama? Man, you've been reading way too many romance novels. Me rushing into a hasty marriage was simply to give my older sister peace of mind. That was my one and only objective from the start. The other day, when I went along with Xia Chong to his blind date, you must have seen me sitting with that woman and immediately assumed I was cheating on you, right? Anyone who didn't know any better would think you were actually jealous. Rest assured, I am definitely not jealous in the slightest. The expression you had on your face just now looked an awful lot like jealousy, though. I've made myself crystal clear. Your entire body is practically reeking of sourness right now. It's blindingly sour. Not even the vinegar poured into a bowl of noodles is as sour as you. I don't like you, let alone love you. So how on earth could I possibly get jealous? As long as you don't commit adultery during the duration of our marriage, why on earth would I care who you hang out with? You don't need to keep constantly emphasizing that you don't like me and don't love me, you know? You say like I'm head over heels in love with you or something. The two of us registering our marriage was nothing more than just making do to get by day. And to be brutally honest with you, I didn't want my sister keep arguing with my brother-in-law on my account, which is why I rushed to move out, and why I agreed to your grandma's proposal to register our marriage just so I'd have a place to stay. If you're talking about having ulterior motives, then this right here was my ultimate motive regarding you. You had an apartment where I could live completely rent-free, saving me a fortune on housing expenses, while also giving my sister ultimate peace of mind. Honestly, this apartment of yours is way more attractive than you are. Fanjuan, I'm sorry. I completely misunderstood you. From now on, if any issues come up, just speak your mind directly to me. Don't ever pull a stunt like locking the front door deadbolt again and shutting me out in the cold. With a stubborn personality like hers, getting married in the future is bound to cause endless friction. If her future husband happened to share that exact same stubborn streak, those two would probably be filing for divorce within a flat minute. Do you need any help with anything? Nope, I'm good. If you're genuinely feeling that bored, why don't you go hang out the laundry for me and sweep the floors while you're at it? Talk about someone who literally has no sense of courtesy. At least his facial expression wasn't looking so grim this morning. And he even went ahead and made breakfast for me to eat. Hey, why don't I drive you over to your shop in a bit? It's not even that far away anyway. Dropping you off at the shop and then heading back to the company is no big deal at all. Things are super relaxed over at my company. Showing up a bit late or leaving early is totally fine. No matter what anyone says, he's still my legal husband after all. So I absolutely cannot give any other woman an opening. I wonder what nickname that Bing Bing chick has saved for him in her contact list, though. Hello, Fan Yuan. Have you eaten breakfast yet? Let me come pick you up for work, okay? I can treat you to breakfast along the way. Or you can treat me. Either way works. No need. I'm practically stuffed already since I cooked my own breakfast. My wife is going to drive me over to the shop shortly, so you don't need to drive all the way out here for me. Fan Yuan never had a girlfriend before, yet he suddenly rushed into a flash marriage out of nowhere. And his marriage partner was literally a total stranger. Why couldn't he have just waited for me a little longer? Even though I'm still quite young right now, why couldn't the person he rushed into a hasty marriage with have been me? It's just a shame I never viewed her in that light, only ever treating her like a little younger sister. All right then, once your bike is fully repaired, I'll have someone deliver it straight to your shop. Fan Yuan, you really don't need to be so formal with me. I won't disturb your meal any further. Fan Yuan, pal, I am your big bro here. Where the hell did an older brother like you even crawl out from? My mother only gave birth to me and my older sister. I don't have any older brother. Eldest cousin, huh? It sounds like such a person actually exists, but our families haven't been in touch for years. So the moment they reach out, it's definitely nothing good. Grandma is sick. She's been diagnosed with liver cancer. Thankfully, it's still in the early stages, and the doctor strongly recommends checking into a hospital in the big city for proper treatment. Both of you siblings have already settled down in the city center, and you're familiar with the situation up there. So go grab a medical queue ticket for Grandma and get everything arranged. We'll be setting off shortly to bring Grandma up to the city hospital. That way, the moment she arrives, she can immediately begin treatment just as desired. I heard they require an upfront deposit, so make sure you pay the hospitalization deposit as well. Even though your parents are no longer around, you still have a share of the responsibility in caring for our grandparents. Over all these years, you two haven't contributed a single cent for their maintenance. If I recall correctly, you're 12 years older than me. 15 years ago, when my parents died in a car crash, you were already 22 years old. Back then, when Grandpa and Grandma split up the insurance payout, you sure were extremely enthusiastic about it, weren't you? If I remember correctly, the maintenance allowance that my father handed over to Grandpa and Grandma was already paid off completely in a single lump sum, right? You guys took that shared payout of 150,000 yuan directly from Grandpa and Grandma to build yourselves a brand new house. And that exact 150,000 yuan was meant for their lifelong care. Money that my parents had to trade their very lives to acquire. You people just sit back and enjoy in luxury, yet you still have the audacity to shamelessly point fingers and lecture me about not paying maintenance? How on earth do you even have the face to demand I pay extra? Our residential neighborhood is definitely a high-end district, all right? Never would I have expected to actually witness a bridal luxury car delivering with enough money to buy such an expensive luxury ride. You'd think they'd live in a massive mansion, right? Yet here they are living in a regular apartment block instead. Could it be to make commuting for work more convenient? Or perhaps to make it easier for the kids to go to school? It must be because of their humility, driving a luxury bridal car and calling it humble. You don't have a very good relationship with your hometown relatives, do you? When I was 10 years old, my parents passed away in a tragic car accident, and neither my paternal relatives nor my maternal relatives ever bothered to consider taking care of my sister and me. However, the moment that compensation payout from my parents arrived, they all came rushing forward one by one, demanding a cut of the money. Extended family members didn't have any legal right to demand share, so they all manipulated and instigated the elderly grandparents to step up and demand it. My father was the fourth child, so Grandpa and Grandma never really favor my dad much anyway, instead showing heavy favoritism toward my uncles. Upon seeing such a massive sum of money awarded in compensation, in order to squeeze out a bigger share for themselves. Back then they claimed that future elderly care and funeral arrangements wouldn't require my sister and me to contribute any money or effort whatsoever And just like that, they pocketed 600,000 yuan and even made us sign an agreement. That two-story house that my parents had just finished building, right before they passed away. Grandpa and Grandma even moved straight into it, arguing that since my parents were no longer around, that house automatically belonged to them. My sister said the property deed for that house was under my parents' names. And once the old folks passed on, she'd come back and file a lawsuit to reclaim ownership of that property. She'd never let those greedy uncles take advantage of us. Well, if you ever need legal assistance when the time comes to sue, just say the word and let me know. I happen to know plenty of professional lawyers, so if we really need it down the road, I can always ask her for help. Still, Grandpa and Grandma will probably hang on for a few more years. And by the time it actually comes down to taking them to court, who knows? Whether Shin Yu-Chu and I will even still be husband and wife. So your mother's side of the family didn't have anyone stepping up to protect the two of you? My mother had a terribly rough life. She was only an adopted child who was bounced around through who knows how many hands. She was finally adopted by my maternal grandparents in the end, since she wasn't their biological flesh and blood. Expecting them to go above and beyond for us was out of the question altogether. They simply felt that since they raised my mother to adulthood, yet hadn't even reaped any benefits from her before, my mother passed away. They felt utterly cheated. They even demanded 400,000 yuan from the compensation, leaving my sister and me with a paltry 200,000 yuan. Who on earth actually felt any sympathy for the two of us? Every single one of them was terrified of missing out on a cut. If the village officials hadn't retained a shred of conscience and stubbornly refused to let them snatch away the entire compensation payout, then my sister and I probably wouldn't have gotten a single cent. 15 years have passed since all of that, yet I still can't bring myself to let it go. My older sister was only 15 years old back then, dragging me along as she handled our parents' funeral arrangements. In the end, she had to arrange boarding for me at school, so I could stay on campus, at least ensuring my education and 3 daily meals, without having to walk on eggshells living under someone else's roof. The two of us grew up relying entirely on each other like that, while those so-called relatives of ours never once reached out a helping hand. Yet when my sister was finally getting married, they suddenly showed up with 2 whole passenger buses, demanding my brother-in-law fork over 300,000 yuan as a bride price, threatening that otherwise they wouldn't permit my sister to marry him. What's wrong? Do you have an urgent matter? It's not an emergency or anything, just a private matter that I wanted to discuss with you in confidence. You could just tell me over the phone, you know. Could you help me investigate something? Listen to you. I've investigated countless things for you already. One more won't kill me. And one less wouldn't make a difference. Whatever you need me to look into, just spit it out. All day long, Grandma kept nagging me to marry her life-saving benefactor, the one I told you about before, remember? Right? But didn't you already marry him? What's up? Did your grandma nag you too into getting a divorce now? Aya, all right. I'll stop talking nonsense. Have you actually grown interested in your husband? So now you want me to dig into his background? It's not necessarily that I'm interested. I just feel that since we're already husband and wife, it's only right to know a little bit about his background, right? Actually, you could easily learn about his family situation, gradually through living together and just asking him directly. Lately, he might be running into some trouble. So if I figure out all the details beforehand, can I help him out? What's this? Are you already in love with him? How are you already rushing to play the hero and protect him? Regardless of whether I love him or not, he is my husband right now. And even if it's just a name only, he is still the man belonging to me, Shin Yu-Chu. Of course I need to look out for him. Are you just lying to yourself and living in denial? Or are you doing this for some cousin? Or for that blood-sucking Chong family? Head assistant, notify the lead attorney and the head of the corporate legal department. Tell him to drop all the work currently on his hands and report to me immediately. Also, go investigate which hospital Fang Yuan's grandma is currently admitted to. Daring to bully the man of me, Shin Yu-Chu. You bunch of scumbags don't even know how the words, how to spell death, are written. Do you? Damn you, Fang Yuan. Not answering my calls, and now, even blocking my number. You think you're pretty smart now, huh? Was what I said over the phone yesterday not clear enough for you? If there's something wrong with your ears, I wouldn't mind shelling out the cash to buy you a decent hearing aid. You little punk. Is that any way to talk to your older cousin? Huh? Your grandma is currently lying in the city. People's Hospital. Waiting on cash for her surgery. Today you are required to cough up 100,000 yuan for this surgical procedure. Hand it over right now. Don't think that just because you're hiding in the city running some book shop that we wouldn't be able to track you down. Let me tell you straight up. If you don't fork over the money today, you can forget about keeping this little shop of yours open. 15 years ago, you guys snatched away 600,000 yuan in compensation money meant for my parents. Fine then. Bring out that 600,000 yuan from back then with full interest included, and I'll march right over to pay the medical fees myself. Bullshit. That was money belonging to the Fong family. What the hell does it have to do with a cursed jinx? Like you who brought your own parents to their early graves. Are these individuals right here the prime suspects accused of attempted extortion and suspected of illicitly embezzling a massive fortune belonging to defenseless orphans? What kind of nonsense are you spouting? Extortion? I am his eldest uncle, for crying out loud. 15 years ago, you people took advantage of the fact that Fong Yuan and his sister were just young kids and are heavily suspected of forging maintenance agreements to illegally misappropriate 600,000 yuan in traffic, accident compensation funds, factoring in inflation and accumulated interest calculations. Right now you are legally required to reimburse Fong Yuan and Ms. Fong a total of 42,400,000 yuan. Furthermore, all of your verbal threats and aggressive actions here today have been fully recorded and captured on video by me, which is more than enough to constitute the crimes of disturbing public order and criminal extortion, according to the criminal code. The starting sentence begins at 3 years behind bars. Quit trying to scare us with some random Shun Corporation nonsense. We don't even know anyone like that in the first place. Not knowing them is fine. Court summons will be delivered directly into your hands this very afternoon. As for the medical expenses concerning the elderly matriarch of the Fong family, our client has already taken the initiative in the name of a charity foundation to settle all fundamental medical and treatment costs in full. Now, are you going to get the hell outside on your own to await your court summons? Or should I call security to physically throw you out? Attorney Law, right? The Shun Corporation. Could it be the legendary Shun family belonging to the richest person in Guangxing? Who on earth is your client, anyway? Brother Fong. Due to the strict confidentiality agreement bound to our client, I am not at liberty to disclose her actual name. She only gave me one single instruction. With her around, absolutely no one is ever permitted to bully you. Mr. Fong, I'll take my leave now. Wishing you a wonderful life ahead. Now, are you going to get the hell outside on your own to await your court summons? Or should I call security to physically throw you out? Attorney Law, right? The Shun Corporation. Could it be the legendary Shun family belonging to the richest person in Guangxing? She only gave me one single instruction. With her around, absolutely no one is ever permitted to bully you. Mr. Fong, I'll take my leave now. Wishing you a wonderful life ahead. The supreme head of the mighty Shun Corporation. Did you actually know about all of this the entire time? Fong Yuan, please listen to my explanation. In the very beginning, I didn't deliberately intend to deceive you. It was just that Grandma stubbornly insisted that I marry you, because I was terrified that you harbor malicious designs against me. And therefore, I've already passed all of your probation tests. Huh? Well, President Shun, playing along in this act with you for the past half year. Watching you put on that high and mighty attitude to test me, guardedly keeping your distance from me, and even forcing me to sign this completely unequal divorce agreement. Now that the half-year mark has finally arrived, I still feel like we're worlds apart in status. So we might as well just stick strictly to the agreement. Let's swap our marriage certificates for divorce papers already. Fong Yuan, you stop right there. Don't you dare walk away. I shouldn't have tested you like that. I shouldn't have been so guarded against you. And above all, I never should have signed that damn agreement. I ripped it up. I've already torn that piece of trash to shreds. Fong Yuan, please don't abandon me, okay? I admit it, I was jealous. Seeing you and Bai Ningbing together like that made me so consumed by jealousy, I thought I was losing my mind. Every single night when I intentionally deadbolt the front door, it was purely because I wanted to hear you call me your wife from outside the door. Having Attorney Law step into discipline. Your greedy eldest uncle. was only because I couldn't bear to see you suffer. Even the tiniest speck of grievance. You absolute jerk. You clearly told me yourself that the food you cook tastes amazing. You clearly told me that. Even if we were just making do to get by day, you would still take responsibility for me. You've completely spoiled my stomach with your cooking, and now you've even stolen my entire heart. Yet you can just say you're leaving like it's nothing? By what right do you think you can just walk away? Who said I wanted to leave anyway? The doorstep of the richest Shun family is simply way too high up. A lowly commoner like me could never hope to climb up there. Unless what? Unless President Shun takes a little more initiative herself. After all, Grandma is still waiting to hold her great-grandchild, you know? Hey, why hasn't my precious grandchild been born yet? Big Brother Fong Yuan, please don't be so tense. Yochu's physical constitution is exceptionally strong. She'll definitely be just fine. That's right, Brother Fong. You're practically the supreme emperor. Standing right behind the entire Shun Corporation now. You gotta show off a little bit of that supreme authority. As for me right now, I'm still happily running my little bookstore. Yet my handmade artisanal crafts, under the unintentional commercial hype of Shun Yuchu, have transformed into exquisite works of art that Guangxing's elite upper class would pay 1,000 gold pieces for, and still struggle to buy. As for my eldest uncle's family and cousin, thanks to the tender care of attorney law, they've already checked into a cell to stitch up some sewing machine garments. Can all of these sweet dreams truly accompany me forever? Fraternal twins. They're actually a set of boy and girl twins. Hurry, 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 bring out Grandma's bank card right now. I have to honor my promise and hand over every single cent of my life savings to little Fong Yuan. My dear wife, you've had it so hard. Fong Yuan, from now on it won't just be me clinging on to you. Even these two little ones are going to be sticking to you like glue. Is the little money you make from your handicraft stuff even going to be enough to feed the three of us? Here, rest assured. The noodles I cook will always fill you up, as long as you don't go around dumping entire bottles of vinegar into them every time you get jealous. Are you still going on about that? All of those calculating schemes, that defensive wariness, and the heavy shadows of the past have all vanished completely amidst the cries welcoming this new life, and the warm smiles we shared looking at each other, dissolving away into nothingness. That once haughty and frosty Ice Queen CEO, in the end, willingly descended from her heavenly pedestal and fell straight into my heart.